Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for clicking on our faces tonight. Here we are back again to discuss The Boys, season 4.
What a episode it was. Well, I mean, what a season it was because mind
Yes.
you, it's the last episode and wow, what a show. This is interesting. Now, before I mess up and start giving spoilers, let me just because I got a lot to say. Cuz wow. This
So,
is
yeah, just a heads up, as usual, this is a spoiler review. So, we're talking about the episode. So, if you have not yet seen the episode, please click off, bookmark this for later. Come back and join us when you've watched the episode because we're going into full spoilers.
mhm.
Okay. But if you are still with us, thanks for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button and let's go straight into the episode. So it opens up in as like this news reel or this news broadcast, and they called it VNN, kind of like CNN,
Mhm.
and they're talking about the election because they have, of course, Vice President elect Nugan. I can't even say her name right. Victoria, I think her name is.
Yeah.
She is she's up for the election, but of course they are running on like this anti-soups platform, right?
Mhm.
We also get with Starlight and Huey. They're back at the apartment. And as we know at this point, this is the shifter. This isn't our girl Starlight. She's still
That's
being
right.
impersonated by the shifter. But
Mhm.
this chick had the audacity, right, to not only take over her body, but to propose to her man.
Fact. Come
And
with a ring and propose. That is wild.
I would be so pissed off because not only did you try take my body, not only are you sleeping with my man, but you stole my moment to be proposed to, and just like what I don't understand the motive behind here, and it made it seem like this shifter, she does this often because when she's in later in the episode, when she's talking to Starlight in like her lair or whatever she got her like holed up in, she's telling her, hey, yeah, the best moments are the engagement moments, and they look so happy and yada yada yada. I'm trying to find the image of it. I think this might be it.
That was just brutal. That whole thing was super brutal. But you know what? I'm very curious. Like, because she was sitting there talking about after patriarchy, blah blah
Oh,
blah. I'm gonna propose, blah blah blah. This and that. Like, okay, I'm curious to know how many women have actually proposed. Like, and
I I would rather die than propose to how I would rather die. Uh,
No, 'cause I was laughing my ass off because he's sitting there trying to claim his manhood, talking about, hold up, wait right there. Let me run and get the ring.
right.
And they were like tussling over who's gonna kneel. Like, what?
And they
Yo.
both kneeled. Oh,
Yes, that was crazy.
that was wild.
Crazy.
It couldn't be me. No, no way in hell.
No,
Poor Amy.
I'm curious if anybody really is that progressive. Like, I'm curious to see. Listen, if that happens, when the wedding when I get my vows renewed, I'm gonna tell my wife I want a ring.
So
Fuck
wait a
that.
second. Wait a second. You recently got married, right?
Yeah, yes.
Now, what would you have done if your wife would have proposed to you first?
The same thing that Huey did. I would have because I mean at that point, if she because here's the truth, in my opinion, I think that a woman would propose if she's just been hinting at it and waiting for it for a long time and she's not getting going anywhere. You know what I mean? That's the only way that I see that happening.
Mhm.
Um, but for a guy, like, yeah, because like I just don't think it would go there. You know what I mean? And feel personally, that would be very emasculating. I'm sorry to say
Yeah.
it. Because
It reeks of desperation, man. I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know. I couldn't do it. But anyway, so
but I'm old, so I'm curious as to if the Gen Z kids are gonna start getting on their knees and proposing to men.
Possibly. They're very progressive.
I
These
see that. This is very progressive. This was wild right here. But
Mhm.
anyway, because we're talking too much about that. So
So she Starlight or the shifter, they go to, celebrate the occasion in the bedroom, and we see that the shifter's starting to peel, like her skin is coming off. So she has to leave quickly in order to like
mhm,
recharge. And that's when we see
mhm.
her meet up with the real Starlight, who's of course imprisoned in this basement situation. Um,
But her powers are interesting though. Because
yes,
not only is she a shifter, she's also a mind reader.
yeah, she can no she can steal your memories as well. So if she steals your
Mhm.
body, she gets access to all of your memories. And not only that, it seems like possibly your powers. I'm not sure. They didn't really clarify that.
Yeah. It's like Rogue mixed with Jean Grey, if
Yeah,
that makes
it's
sense.
like Rogue mixed with Mystique, mixed with like all
Facts.
these other characters, because she's like pretty
Yeah.
much impenetrable. We see later in the episode that when they go into that underground bunker, and of course the shifter is among them, the Service agents, they start shooting at her, and she's like not even phased. Like it's like she's impenetrable. And I wonder what are her powers. Does she steal a little bit from everybody whenever she
Mm.
takes the soup? I don't know, but
I mean, she was in that lab, so I wouldn't be surprised if she's just somebody that was put together.
mm,
You know what I mean? Because she was like
engineer.
a prisoner. Yeah, she was like a prisoner, and like, so. But I guess we'll find out more about her in season 5.
Yeah, hopefully. But because we'll talk about that, because in this episode she died, right?
Hmm.
Starlight and the real Starlight and the shifter, they get into this boxing match, right? They're fighting. And this is what I don't understand, because a couple things pissed me off about this scene in particular. Because not only did Starlight release herself from her chains in the nick of time, she somehow found her way to this government underground bunker that they're keeping the goddamn president at this point. I think by this point in the show, he's already been elected. So how the hell is Starlight get into this underground bunker quick enough to find this damn shifter? I don't understand that part. That was really wild to me. She came just in the nick of time.
Facts. Hmm. I mean, she
Weird.
had to know somehow.
Yeah, but how did she even get there?
Hmm.
And not only that, we also see that the shifter got into a battle with Kamiko, and she
Yes.
got the best of Kamiko. And Kamiko's like a trained fighter since childhood. So you want me to believe that Kamiko couldn't beat the shifter, but Starlight beat her?
Facts. That's true.
I
And
was like,
Starlight just beat her with a chokehold. Like,
right. I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. That part took
mm,
me out of it a little bit.
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't make no damn sense. No way.
Mhm.
But
Hmm.
speaking of Kamiko, we have Frenchie in her. Not only was Frenchie able to create the virus, like he was able to get like a new version of this virus going that's supposedly strong enough to kill off Homelander.
Hmm.
But once they get back to their home base, and it's discovered that Starlight is actually who she is, yada yada yada.
Hmm.
um Kamiko kind of confesses to Frenchie that, hey, when I told you to go off with Colin, I didn't mean it. I just didn't feel good enough for you, but long story short, I want to be with you. Yeah, yada yada yada. So they actually were able to, seal the deal this episode. They are a couple. I don't know, though, at least they kissed.
Well, I
So
mean, look, he went off to prison and got away from her so that she don't feel bad,
mhm.
and she lied to him so that he don't feel bad. So now they all like, you know, in love. It's a great feel good moment. It's a good
I'm
time
glad
for
they
them.
finally got together, because they've been like, this has been a slow burn through these 4 seasons. So it's
Yeah,
nice to see it happen.
that's true. That's
Yes.
true. And hopefully one of them doesn't die or something.
Uh,
Because I thought she was gonna die a couple seasons back.
she's got this superpower. Well, you see what happened at the end of the episode, where they go off into their own separate ways, allegedly into the sunset.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, someone's got the better of them. They got there was this I believe they're in Gen V, that the spinoff show of The Boys.
So
These two,
wait, is that scheduled? Is that supposed to be after this or prior to this? Like, when does that show fit in?
I
Like,
want to say it's happening around the same time because I haven't finished all of the episodes of Gen V, but I do know that Butcher makes an appearance.
mm,
So I want to say it's like probably maybe a little bit before, or happening right around the same time because the two characters that took Frenchie, they are in Gen V. They're Gen V
I
characters.
was about to ask that if all of those people that took them at the end of the episode are all in that. Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And as this girl, I forget her name, but she whispers into Frenchie's ear and he does whatever she says because that's her power set, right? She can like she has the power of
Hmm.
persuasion or something. Um Kamiko sees this and she speaks. This is enough to get her to speak after all of these years of silence and speech therapy and everything else. So I thought it was, very fitting that she does it for Frenchie because that's like the love of her life, right? Um,
Hmm.
but this is the first word she's uttered in all 4 seasons, and it was no. And I felt so bad for her because she's finally getting like her little quote unquote happy ending. She's, sharing her feelings, she's opening up.
Mm.
Then here we are. Oh, such a
Taken
shame.
away from her. Mm.
Yes, as soon as it came, it's gone.
Mm.
Um, but if we're talking about death and on the brink of death, we have Butcher. He is in bad shape this episode. He's in the hospital. Vital signs are low. Um, and he's to the point that he's like pretty much telling Huey, like, hey, when I pass, I need you to do the things that I wanted to do. I think he told him to go to some topless steak bar. At first, I thought they were talking about Outback Steakhouse. I swear to God. And
That's hilarious.
earlier in the season, they were plugging it hard. They had the blooming onion and everything earlier that
Wow.
yeah, that Sister Sage was eating. I was like, hold on, is the Outback paying for a little product placement throughout the
Oh, Sister Sage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
um but no, it was some like topless bar. He was telling Huey, like, hey, when I die, you gotta go there for me, right? But while he's in the hospital, we got Auntie Grace coming in. And don't she remind you of what's his name from Invincible? You
Who, the
know,
mother? Who you talking about?
no, the guy.
Oh, Cecil? Wow. Yeah, she definitely got Cecil energy. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something about
She,
that energy is giving Cecil from Invincible.
yes. Yes, definitely. Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Yo, for real. Yeah, black suit and everything. Wow.
And you know who else? I was saving this for later, but oh, please tell me it uploaded this image because I was like, hold on. Ashley takes some Gen V later in the episode, and she looking like Angstorm from
Oh
Invincible.
man, damn! I was hoping to see the results of that because
Right.
you see how her wig came
Uh-huh. Yes.
right off, bang! Like she's been pulling her hair
Isn't that-
for a minute, and I really want to see. And mind you, it's crazy because she does that to save her life,
Yes.
and the reason why is because Homelander is wilding.
He's taking out everyone who has dirt on him in the 7. He tells Ashley, he's like, look, hey, uh, get a list together of all the employees that know a little something about me in the 7, right?
Yep,
And she knows what Homelander's about to do with this list. She's like, she's to the point that she leaves her own name off the list, right?
yep.
But the Deep, in all his genius, he's like, hey, wouldn't Ashley be the main one who knows all the dirt
Mm-hmm.
about us?
Mm-hmm.
And so he adds her to the list, right? And that would be enough to make me enemies with this man for life. Because how are you going to see that I left my name off and you won't bring it up in the meeting? Like,
I mean, I feel Deep is the slimiest dude
ah,
in the whole thing. Like
really?
I think he's the worst. You know what I mean? Because, and it started with, in my opinion, like it started with season 1 with the blowjob thing.
Oh yeah.
Number 1,
Hmm.
because I mean, like it's not the 70s. Like that kind of vibe doesn't work anymore. So
Hmm.
like number 2, him, seducing and cheating on the octopus
Oh
and
yeah.
putting the octopus's hopes up and shit, and then the fake rehab, and the fake marriage, and like
Uh-uh.
this guy just belongs in the dumpster, bro.
He has a lot going on, but I don't know, something about his character. I think he's hilarious. I think if he's a funny character. I like that he's in the show. I would be sad if they get rid of the deep. But with that being said, he ain't shit. Like he's an ain't shit character for sure.
He really is. He definitely is an ancient character. I'll tell you that much. Because wow, this dude is something else, man. Like, and
So
mind you, that scene right there was sad because I literally thought he was gonna let that guy go.
mm,
I really did. Like he did that grimy shit. Like
right.
he had him tell him, like, "Oh, say all of these nice things about me."
And
Yeah,
not only that, they made a quip about the guy. He's like, no, don't kill me. I can pay you. He said, you don't have any money. You're a writer.
that shit had me dying.
Right. You know the
Like,
writers wrote
this
that
shit
in there.
is
You
funny.
know I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, this is why I love his character because it's so funny. Like he gets these lines that are just so hilarious, and he delivers them. The actor delivers them so well. I would
Mm,
be sad to see him go. But they do put Ashley on the list, and in fear, she runs off to Homelander's room to go take some of his extra V and
mm.
inject herself with it. So I wonder what her power set is going to be. I feel like if it's like a brain power, it would be too redundant to Sister Sage. But clearly
Mm.
something's going on here, and I wonder what it's going to be. Do you have like any ideas? Like, what do you think is going to happen, Ashley?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think back to what motivates her the most, right? And like,
Self-preservation.
well, yeah, not just that, but even prior to that, like while she was coming up on the ranks, like
Hmm.
she ultimately always wanted power.
Hmm.
So it's something that's going to reflect whatever's going on inside. And I don't know. I don't think it's going to be something as simple as Sister Sage, like, because Sister Sage, like, she's super smart and like cunning, but like, I don't know. I got a feeling it's going to be something really weird where she's like a big brain and flying around and doing some wild stuff. You know what I mean? Like pulling lasers out of her. It's something wild with a lot of power, I assume. You know what I mean? Like, but we'll see. Oh snap! They took me out the video, but we'll see.
Shout out to the viewers. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like button and join in the conversation in the chat.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I don't know what her power is going to be. I can't. I don't even. From what we get, nothing here. We just get like she's clearly going to have some metamorphosis. Something ain't right
Yep.
in there. But when Butcher is in the hospital, he's pretty much on his last leg. He gets Ryan to come to the facility to see him. So Ryan's there meeting up with Auntie Grace, as he calls her, and they're pretty much sending out this last resort is to get him on their side, right?
Hmm.
He is open to coming there because shortly before this, there was a scene with Homelander. Homelander finds the Christmas gift that Butcher sent to Ryan, which was the image of him and his mother together, right? The picture.
Hmm.
Homelander goes effing wild, a wild man. He destroys the whole suite, even
Yep.
burns up the American flag,
Hmm.
just because he's so upset at Ryan. And at this point, I was like, is he about to kill his own son? Like, it felt like he was about to, like, really hurt him. He was like, come here. Like, even with, like, the lasers in the eyes. What did you think about this scene?
Well, I mean, he pretty much wants to mold. He pretty much wants to mold his son into his vision and create like a family unit, right?
Mhm.
And the problem is that he has a connection with Butcher, and he pretty much just wants to kill that. And so, but then at the same time, I think he's very aware of the fact that his son has the same powers that he does.
Okay.
So he can't beat him, and that's what I think was to what Sister Sage was referring to before. So
Uh-huh.
he's trying to pretty much just control the narrative with his son. You know what I mean? And we see a little bit of that, of the results of that later on when they bring him into that room.
Yes.
because he really feels a way about his father.
Now, okay, so when he's in the room with Auntie Grace and Butcher, and they pretty much, they tell him that, of course, his father isn't. Um, they let him know that the Homelander SA'd his mother, which resulted in her pregnancy.
Hmm.
That wasn't something that he knew before. And they let him know, like, hey, we need you to go away with us because it's not safe for you to be with Homelander. But
Hmm.
he's resistant to it. He's like, hey, I like being there to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Homelander's my dad. And they kind of back him into a corner. And unfortunately, that resulted in the death of Auntie Grace. And I kind of felt like they did this. Like, this isn't something that he wanted to do. He was asking them to leave. They wouldn't allow him to leave. He was backed into a corner to do this.
Well,
When,
I mean, that whole thing was interesting because, mind you, at first I thought they were in the hospital.
uh-huh.
They was not in no hospital. They was in some bunker, and Grace, she was just like, I have all of this surrounded, and I could trap you in here, and I could do all of this stuff because you really need to come with us. Like, she was just desperate to take this boy and take care of him.
Yeah.
And I literally thought that Butcher was in a hotel somewhere. I didn't realize they were in like an underground bunker in like Carajoland somewhere. And how the hell did they get the kid down? Like, yo, the logistics behind that just drove me wild. Like, how
Yeah,
the
it was
hell?
a CIA facility,
Mm-hmm.
6 feet deep walls, lead walls. And pretty much Ryan was saying that, yeah, you guys tricked me down here. And she was saying, yeah, if you don't come with us, I don't want to do this, but I can lock us all in here and we can all take one long sleep. Like, they were threatening this little boy.
Mm-hmm.
So of course he's scared, and of course he's going to try his best to get out of there. And he's super powered.
Yeah.
But it led him to like this villainous like look in his eye, and I'm like, this is what's going to turn him right here.
Yo, it was very much Darth Vader. Like,
Yes, yes,
it was very much like, damn, I killed my mother type shit.
but
Like,
he did kill his mother though. Like,
yeah, like,
right.
because I mean, damn, it was one little push, and all of a sudden, she got her neck sticking out her neck, like, which is a
But
weird thing to say.
what's interesting though about this stuff specifically is because Ryan's now got 3 lives under his belt: his mom, the guy, the stunt double guy or the stunt guy, and
Mm-hmm.
now Auntie Grace. And this is the first time that he didn't really react after the death. He's grown
That's right.
numb to these deaths that he's causing. So that's really
That's
like
right.
his evil origin story, honestly. And Butcher and his, double, the demon on his shoulder,
His
notices.
his tumor, basically. That's what we
Yeah.
should call him.
And the whole time, Butcher's been trying to like ignore that nagging voice telling him, like, hey, Ryan's got to go. And after he saw that, it was nothing that, he was like, all right, he agreed to it, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then tell man what he agreed to is wild.
yes. But let's get into these comments here. I haven't seen this show. Everything y'all talking about sounds. This is spoilers. Get out of here. If you haven't seen the show, get out of. If you haven't seen the show and you plan on watching the show, please come back and watch us after you've seen the show because we're going into full spoilers, guys. Okay.
Facts.
Um, but yeah, so that's when Butcher he takes it upon himself, and I'm like, how did he do this? Did he just have like a stash of V on him? Because later, when everyone's back at the base, Huey's already spoken with what's her name, the vice president elect. She's telling him, hey, Homelander has me under his thumb, right? He's threatening my child. There's nothing that I can do. So I want to turn pretty much. She's asking him to get her out of this situation. He
Well, I
wants,
mean, but wait a minute. We skipped over what Homelander did to her
oh yeah, Homelander.
because Sister Sage set up this whole thing where the president was going to get killed, and then she was just basically going to be president, right? But I just find it funny because they everything here is symbolic. Like
Mhm.
everything here is so like like so basically Kamala Harris was to
God.
chop people's heads. You know what I'm saying? Like she all of a sudden Kamala got exposed for being a soup, like right on national TV, right
Uh-huh.
by, yeah, right by and Donald Trump, the guy that she was like being a
Right,
freaking
and look at the color scheme. It's very Fox News, right? They got Fox News.
yo everything like this is just a freaking like a parody of life right now.
Yeah.
This whole
So
thing is so hilarious. But anyway, she blew up her spot was blown up, and then she was sitting there talking about how
I
long
believe her.
she's been trying to keep that secret and all of that, and like he pretty much drew her cards right on the
Yeah.
table.
No one knew she was super powered
Mm-hmm.
through this whole election. And he
Mm-hmm.
outed her on live television, and pretty much backed her into a corner as well. But unfortunately, she has to kind of obey Homelander. Everyone does. He's super
Mm-hmm.
powerful.
Yep.
So pretty much he gets her on the phone shortly after that scene and tells her, hey, you're pretty much going to be a puppet president. You got to do everything that I tell you to do. If not, I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to take your daughter, I'm going to chop her up in little pieces, and I'm going to send her a little pieces of her to you
Mm-hmm.
before I get rid of you. What is she to do, right?
Exactly.
She takes her problems to Huey. Huey convinces all of the boys to kind of give her a chance and hear what she has to say, and bring her to the home base. But unfortunately, when they get there, here come old big boy Butcher. He's V'd up, not in the hospital bed anymore. He's completely powered up.
Facts.
And we see what his powers when he's on V look like for the first time this episode. And it's giving like Dr. Ock, like, what's up with these tentacles coming out of his
Mm-hmm. That was
body?
wild.
Yes. And
That
he's,
was oof,
look at that.
on some
So
Medusa type shit.
it was wild. So they get everyone's like cautious because they're like, oh crap, he's out here, he's crazy. He's decided to go through with the massacre of all of the soups. He goes to Frenchie, tells him, hey, give me the injection, whatever it is, the virus. And Frenchie has no choice but to give it to him. But he does say a line that I think is going to play in to next season. He said, you're on V, it's going to kill you too.
Mm.
So in my opinion, Butcher's going to be gone again. I want to say the 5th season is going to be the final season of The Boys, but Butcher might do like a kamikaze, like suicide mission, and take out Homelander and himself at the same time.
Probably.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Probably. I mean, but at the same time, because there's a little bit more. Like, I don't know if you saw after the end credits,
Mhm.
um,
I did it.
Homelander,
What happened?
Homelander finds his father. Because remember,
Soldier Boy?
Grace froze him again.
Oh
Remember
my
that.
God.
So Homelander finds Soldier Boy, and then all of a sudden you see Homelander tearing. So I got a feeling it's gonna be very like Invincible,
Uh-huh.
but with grandpa, son, and the kid. Like they're gonna be like a super team. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like Homeland is not the only one that's gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a
yeah.
problem. You know, straight up. And like Captain America, Superman, and freaking Superboy over here is
Superboy.
gonna be they're gonna do all kinds of wild things next season. So I'm hyped for it. You know what I mean? Like this is one of those things where it's like, damn, I want to see more. But they definitely left it with a great cliffhanger. And
Oh,
mind you,
I missed that.
and not just that, I also want to see, this girl with her wig popped off. I want to see what she's about. And
Yeah.
then and here's the other thing, like Sister Sage's plan,
Uh-huh.
because I think we skipped over that. Like the plan that she had as far as the politics of everything, in
Yeah.
my opinion, was brilliant. Because she was just like, I have to figure everything out, and I knew that you were gonna just be you.
Uh-huh.
And she said that to Homelander, and I was like, yo, you really pushing the edge to getting your head popped off.
No, and
Right. But
then Let me just respond to this comment from Twister. So the show comes on Amazon. It's Amazon Prime Video. So if you have an Amazon account, more than likely you have a Prime account. So just go onto
Mhm.
Amazon, type in Amazon Prime Video, and you can watch all of the seasons of The Boys.
Yep,
It's a really good show.
yep.
But yes, Sister Sage, she does come back after all of the chaos and reveals like, hey, this was all part of the plan as well. I knew you were going to mess it up, but she has like the I don't know the I don't know who the somebody on the phone saying who's
Well,
willing.
no, see, since Butcher killed the vice president, right?
Uh-huh.
What the way that Sister Sage set it up, and she kind of, I guess she kind of knew that was gonna happen, that she was gonna get killed somehow. Because for those type of powers where you could pop people's heads, like, you should be able to survive a little bit better or
Yeah,
fight back a little bit. But anyway, Sister Sage knew she was gonna die, and then had a video recording of the president saying some negative stuff, put it
and
out
then
there,
should have killed
and
her. Uh-huh.
yeah, and then all of a sudden now he's the one that's going to jail, and she's the one that's being mourned, and now Homelander is basically like,
Running the country.
yeah, like he's not, he's basically just standing up on stage, puppeting the president, and just saying, listen, I run this now. That's like if the donors just showed up at the house. It was just like, listen, you guys got to do this and that. Like that right there was just crazy. And the way that Sister Sage set that whole thing up, at least the
She's
way
the
they made it look,
smartest person in the world.
yes.
It makes sense. But what I thought was interesting was his reaction to that. Because honestly, Homelander is used to being feared, right? He's used to feeling abandoned, but he's not used to
Mhm.
people coming and doing for him out of just because, right? And he
Mhm.
honestly, from that point, he has a connection with Sage. It's about to be that same, like, I feel like, um kind of, what is the word, attachment that he had with the previous woman from season one. Like he feel like this person is down for him, so he's about to be down for Sage. I feel like he hasn't really experienced that in his life, and he feels
Well, Sage is the only person that really delivered exactly what she said she was going to deliver,
like,
because I mean he's so narcissistic, and but then she actually completely delivered. But the problem with Homelander is just that he's narcissistic, immature, and wants instant gratification.
mhm.
Right? He's always like complaining about things happening, this and that. So now the Marjorie Taylor Greene lady, like she did everything to make her heart pop, and she started coughing up a lot just so that she could have breast milk for
Right, looking
Homelander.
sick as a dog this episode, looking a
Mm-hmm.
mess. Oh man.
Mm-hmm. Like, and I kind of felt bad for her because I'm like, yo, your head's gonna pop off or something's gonna
Right.
happen
At
to you.
this point, just go get pregnant. If you about to do all of this, just go get pregnant so you can have breast milk for real
M-
instead of taking
Might
all.
as for real, might as well. She might
Might
as well
as
just
well.
jump on Homelander instead of doing all of that.
But he don't want her. Remember, he's not attracted to her.
Ah, my bad. Ah,
You
that's
got to
what it
go to
is.
the
Like,
deep. The deep will hop on it. He freaky
facts.
deaky. The deep will give it
Facts.
to her.
No, but I felt bad for her because she was just coughing, and he was like, "Yo, you're making me sick."
Right.
Like,
Or
you know,
that's what he said to
shoot
her.
down. I
Homelander.
know, but how the hell, how you have all of these powers that you getting sick, my dude? Like that don't make no kind of sense.
He's a
That was
drama
just some
queen.
bullshit that he told her just to get away.
He's a drama queen. That's
Yeah, did you see her face?
yeah.
She was dying, like she was ready to bawl because she loves him so much. Oh my god, yo,
Yeah,
that
that's
shit
when I
was.
was like, girl, just stand up. Like just have some dignity, girl. Like just
Uh-huh.
but no, she just wants to be around him. It's so sad.
It is. It
I'm
is.
trying to think of anything we met. Okay, of course we covered the death of V.
Mm-hmm. But
Um,
now I wonder what happens to her daughter, because you notice how her daughter has some snakes coming out her mouth.
they took her to this orphanage. So
Mm-hmm.
she's about to be over there. And her daughter is a killer. She doesn't hesitate when it comes to taking people out. You see in the first episode, in this episode, as soon as somebody hit up on her mom and was in her mom's room in one of the earlier episodes, she
Yeah.
ready to fight. So I
Yeah.
fear for anybody in that orphanage because she's not going to hold back.
So now I wonder if she ends up being in that Gen V show.
Is she old enough? She's a baby. What is she like? How old is Ryan? I feel like,
I don't know because they push it like if it's a younger demographic of other suits.
yeah. But I
That's
feel
how I make it seem.
in Gen V, they're like training to be part of the seven, right?
Oh, I see.
Maybe just I don't know. When is I'm not sure when Gen V the next season comes on.
Mm.
Um, but possibly, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But there was also one other thing that I wanted to cover, and it pissed me off so bad because when Starlight is back to herself and she's talking to Huey, but how can you, sleep with that shifter? And he's telling her, "Oh, I thought it was you, right?" And
Yeah.
there's this moment when she tells him, "Hey, yeah, you just, of course you did. You just want somebody that's DTF and, running around in dresses, and you don't really want someone with depression and who has real emotions." And he counters that with, "Oh, I knew it. She wasn't you because you sweat and you can't find your keys." I'm like, what kind of bullshit ass answer is this? Like, who wrote this? This isn't justifying anything that happened. And it doesn't feel like this is really making the point that I feel like they were trying to make. Because if she's saying that she's flawed, she has depression, she's not always happy and all of this, and he's saying, "Oh, I knew it wasn't you because she found her keys instantly and you can't find your keys," it just felt like it was just missed the mark a little bit. I don't know what you.
I think they try to portray it as like he knew it wasn't her once she lacked those personality quirks.
Yeah, yeah, but she's literally telling you that she has depression, and his response to that is, "Oh, I knew it wasn't you because she sweat and you don't sweat." Like,
Mm.
what are we even
That
having
was
the
kind
same?
of well, yeah. I see what you mean. That was kind of corny.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
like
yeah,
completely miss the
yeah.
points. Like,
Mm.
sir, I don't know who wrote that, and I don't think got it didn't do what they were thinking it was supposed to do, in my opinion.
Mm.
Mhm.
See you. I see you. Okay. I mean, like now. See, at first I thought he was just gonna get flack. And I didn't understand it. Like she knows that he didn't know it was her,
Yeah,
and they fucked like 20 times,
right.
and
Mhm.
then it's like, but then she's still like super mad at him. And how was he supposed to know? Like he found out way after the fact, but then, now she feels some kind of way, like, oh, I'm just here to have sex with. Like,
But she did
come
end
on
up
now.
forgiving him. It's like, "Hey, you go get an STD test, and yeah, we'll let this be water under the bridge." That's what it kind of gave. But in my opinion, he's not even acknowledging her emotional issues. Like, she's dealing with
No,
a lot.
but my whole thing is, how is he's supposed to know how she feels unless she
He
says it?
knows how she
Because
feels because she's literally going through the season punching first and asking questions later, which is completely out of her character. So if he's aware of her enough to know, "Hey, you never find your keys on time, and I know all of this about you," but he can't acknowledge that she's clearly going through some issue here, that she's so um aggressive and ready to fight, and she's losing her powers. Like,
okay, okay, but let's remember here. How long has he been holding on to that ring? How long has he been thinking about asking her
that
that
little
question?
dusty ring, that little well, let me
No, all right, let it be dusty, but at the end of the day, it's a symbol. It's a symbol of I want to keep you around. All of a sudden, she gives him exactly what he wants, right? And then they have to fight over who's going to propose.
that's with the shifter, but I'm looking at the ring now that I look at it. What is it? It's not even a jewel in there. It's no diamond. It's just a gold
That's
plated ring.
fine. That's not the point. The point is, it's just that he's been trying to. He's been wanting that moment for a long time, and the shifter
Okay.
straight up gave it to him to distract him,
Okay.
right? And then fuck the shit out of him. You know what I mean? Like, mind you, Starlight probably doesn't know all of those details. I
Uh-huh.
mean, I'm sure that she does, but then look, I should just think she should be more forgiving. Why? Because the girl came back and told you everything that she did,
Yeah.
and told you how much she manipulated him, and told you how happy he was when you proposed. Like, come on now. And probably told you how much she fucked him. Like,
Ah!
and then you sit here, and the thing is, you gotta sit here and then just be mad because he got fooled into thinking, you know what I mean? It just don't make no sense. But she's just sitting there in her feelings talking about, I can't believe you did this. Like, hello.
Well,
I thought it was you. What do
either
you want
way,
me to do?
either way, at the end of the episode, even though all of the boys they've separated and scattered, they are unfortunately taken over by these soups. And I wonder who sent them. Like, was it? It had to have been Sage. Sage is the one. Yeah, it had. Now that I think about it, it had to have been Sage. She knows all of
I
these.
mean, wait a minute. Grace had to have had a number two because aren't those all of the people that Grace is like holding on to,
No,
especially the
no,
big
Grace
dick
was on
guy?
their side. Grace, Auntie Grace was on their side. She wouldn't have sent these soups after them. This has to have been Sage. And plus we
Sage
saw
is in control
that
of all of them.
yeah, plus we saw that the two characters that are in Gen V, they pledged their allegiance to Homelander like earlier this season before they killed
Oh, okay.
the original guy who they thought was the leak. So it has to
Mm,
be Sage. I don't think it's Homelander. He's not smart enough to figure that out. Um,
mm.
but yeah, in my opinion, it's Sage. But that was the season finale. What are your hopes for next season?
Oh man, I mean, I just think it's gonna be a little bit more convoluted.
Okay.
Um, I'm just very curious to see what happens with Captain America more than anything.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Straight
Soldier Boy.
up, straight up, and like, and I want to see more details as to what happens with Sage, and more than anything, what happens with Butcher, because the thing is just that Butcher's hanging on by a thread,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
like always hanging on by a thread. So it's good. He's like the John Wick of this whole thing. So he's gonna figure something out and then be a Medusa and kill somebody. But if he ends up killing Homelander and Soldier Boy and Ryan, like that'll be crazy.
That would be horrible if he has to kill Ryan because that's his, that's his little baby boy almost.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a question in the chat from Twitch Justice Fury 020. Who's your favorite main character of the show? For me, I like Butcher. I ain't even going front. I like Butcher. I think I think he's funny. I think he's entertaining. But at the same time, I like the deep. So I don't know. This is hard. I'm
I
gonna
like
go.
Mother's Milk.
Mother's Milk is your favorite character?
Yeah, I just because he's always rapping. He always got this old school T-shirts on.
Oh yeah,
And
uh-huh.
yeah, he's always repping something. Like
Uh-huh.
I think it's hilarious. And he's like a family guy. He's just trying to do whatever he can. But then at the same time, whenever there's a problem, bomb. He's always
Mhm.
looking for a solution, trying to solve the problem, trying to, you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
he's a problem solver. So
So
that's what I like about him.
Mother's Milk and me is between Butcher and the Deep. And last thing, the actor who plays the character Butcher, he looks like he would make a good Wolverine for Marvel. That would be cool. I think I can
Mhm.
see it actually. I can definitely see that.
Facts. He
But
will make a good Wolverine.
that's the show, guys. Thank you guys for hanging with us and joining us. Don't forget to share us with your friends
Mhm.
and join us for Super My Adventures with Superman is going to be released this Sunday. The next our next recap of that. And now that The Boys is over, let us know what you want us to watch and discuss with you guys. But yeah, that's the video. Please like the video and join us soon. See you. Goodbye.
Bye.